Millions of people have high blood pressure, and many don't even know that they have it. It is one of the leading risk factors for heart disease and stroke. Today, we are focusing on how to take control of hypertension and keep your heart healthy. Joining us today is Dr. Arjoy Kapoor, preventative and general cardiologist at Connecticut Heart Group at the Hartford Healthcare Heart and Vascular Institute. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks
Nice.
for having me here.
Nice to have you. Dr. Kapoor, if we could start with first telling us what hypertension is, the signs and symptoms, and what we should be looking for.
Great. Yeah, so high blood pressure or hypertension is when your blood pressure is elevated, and it's the leading risk factor for heart disease as well as strokes. And so often we think of high blood pressure as silent, but there are signs and symptoms that we can watch for or look for when people have them. Things like headaches, dizziness, chest pain,
Mm.
shortness of breath, irregular or palpitations, and even rarely things like nosebleeds, numbness, things like that. So if people start to notice things like that, they need to be evaluated.
They need to be evaluated probably by a cardiologist, I'd imagine. So why should people seek a cardiologist first and maybe not just go to their primary care physician?
So the things that a cardiologist can provide is that we're very specialized expertise in this area. We treat high blood pressure all day long, and we're able to also detect underlying heart disease, which is often associated with high blood pressure. And on top of that, we can manage the complicated ones, the serious ones, the ones that may on the surface look just simple,
Right.
but we're able to look further into that and really get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, what are some of the treatment options that you offer at Hartford Healthcare for someone with hypertension?
So we actually start with like a team approach. We really start with prevention. We look at diet, exercise, then we move to things like medications. But the great thing here is that starting locally, we have a team here, but then we also have a statewide network of experts who can then add on to that. So if someone has vascular causes of high blood pressure, we have vascular surgeons. If we have people have really, really unusual causes like thyroid or other
Mm.
things that can affect high blood pressure, we can have that. If people have treatments that are not working, we have new treatments, things like renal denervation or treatments of the arteries. So we really have the entire spectrum, but like we really want to start with the simple and then move to more complicated options.
Absolutely, and that's why you were talking a lot about lifestyle. Speaking of lifestyle, obviously there are things we can do to help keep ourselves healthy or become healthier. But is hypertension or high blood pressure, is that something that can be genetically passed down?
Absolutely. So it always starts off with a genetic component, and then we look at things like environment,
Mm.
diet, lifestyle. All of those things can have a huge impact, but almost always it starts with the genetics, and then we move from there.
Wonderful. And what about high stress? A lot of people, it's a different time of year right now. We're ending summer, kids are heading back to school, teachers are heading back to school, and just overall life changes. So this could be a stressful time of year for a lot of people. Could that play a factor?
Absolutely. So stress is a underlying factor to high blood pressure. And that's where the lifestyle changes really can make a huge difference. Simple things like taking care of your body, your mind will have a huge impact on how people's high blood pressure is. And so I absolutely agree with you that stress is there and we want to do our best to take care of it.
Absolutely. Dr. Kapoor, thank you so much for joining us and thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you. And if anybody has any more questions or concerns, they can always go to hartfordhealthcare.org/heart. And we have lots of information and ability to visit our centers. So thank you.
Wonderful. Good for our viewers to know. Thank you.